Hello, Archers. I want to have a quick conversation today about annual and target premium. Okay, so this is the minimum and the maximum amount of money that you can put into a life insurance policy, and this is regarding permanent life insurance. So, permanent life insurance has a cash value associated with it. And we can put extra money into the cash value in order to grow it tax-free. So that's one of the biggest benefits of permanent life insurance. You can grow your money tax-free. But there's some rules that go with that, and the IRS has set up some rules regarding that. Those rules are going to give us a minimum and maximum amount of money that can go into the policy. So your minimum amount of money that can go into the policy to sustain the policy, to keep it going, is your annual premium. Okay, and this is the minimum amount of money to sustain the policy for the life of the policy. Okay, so your maximum is going to be your target premium. And so the IRS is going to limit the amount of money that you put into a life insurance policy each year, but it's going to allow you to make extra payments on top of your annual premium using the target premium. And what you're basically doing, each time you make a target premium payment, you're buying a small amount of life insurance. Okay, and the majority is going into the cash value. So we're still treating this like a life insurance premium payment, but we're putting the majority into the cash value. So this allows you to top up your cash value. Okay. So this IRS rule, well, let me back up before I go into that. How we establish the annual premium and the target premium is the amount of life insurance that you're purchasing in the policy. Okay, so the higher the amount of life insurance, the higher the target premium payment is. So the higher the amount of life insurance, the more money you can put into the cash value. If that makes that, I hope that makes sense. And I'll give an example of it here in a second. So the IRS rule regarding this is what they call the 7-pay test. The IRS is going to say, hey, we want you to use this as a life insurance policy, but we want you to take advantage of the cash value, but we're going to limit you in a 7-year period on the amount that you can put into it, the amount to pay up, they call it in the rule. So as long as you don't exceed this IRS rule inside the life insurance policy, you can take advantage of paying more money into your cash value each month, buying a small amount of life insurance in the process with your target premium above your annual premium. Now, we do this in a life insurance policy by using what's called a paid-up addition. And there's other names for it, but they call it a pay-up addition. I gotta spell it right. Now, we use the software for an illustration to optimize this IRS rule, the 7-pay test. This software builds you an illustration, builds a life insurance policy, but what we're really trying to do is prevent the policy from becoming what's called a modified endowment contract. Or what's called a MEC. Now, for some reason, if you overpay above what the 7-pay test stipulates in the insurance contract, you lose your tax-free status. Okay, once a policy becomes a MEC, it's always a MEC, and it loses its tax-free status. And then any withdrawals you make out of the policy before age 59 and a half, you have to pay a 10% penalty, as well as taxes on the growth of the cash value. So we want to prevent it from becoming a MEC. We want it to stay within the 7-pay test rule, and that's why we take advantage of the annual and target premiums. So let's give an example. Let's give an example of a 25-year-old buys a $100,000 life insurance policy. We're going to give you the annual premium. And let's just say that this premium is $100 a month or $1,200 a year. We're also going to give you a target premium, okay? And that's going to be, for this policy, we'll just give an example of $500 a month or about $6,000 a year. So we can overfund the policy up to $4,800. If you hear some footsteps out run, that's my little dachshund. His name is Thomas. He's running around up here being a little wild man. So getting back to this, we sit down, we build a policy for you for this 25-year-old $100,000 life insurance policy, permanent life insurance. The minimum payment he's going to make for the life of the policy is $100 a month or $1,200 a year, and then that person can overfund the policy an additional $400 a month, up to $500 or $6,000 a year, and not break the 7-pay test rule and not let it become a MEC. I hope that's pretty clear for you. Try to break this down as simple as possible. I want to leave you with a question. If you have a permanent life insurance policy, are you taking advantage of your target premium?